So in this video, I want to continue my thread for my father-in-law. In my last video, I mentioned that we moved when I was about 3 years old. I was born in Utah. My parents were both Mormons, and so I was born into the Mormon church. My father's job transferred him to Lubbock, Texas when I was about 3 or 4. And so we moved. And I don't have too many memories right after we moved. I have a few distinct ones, but not a lot. At that time in my life, I was dealing with chronic urinary tract infections because of a kidney reflux that I had. So I remember visiting the doctor a lot and taking medicine and having to go into the hospital for tests. But eventually my family moved to a house just around the corner from the Mormon church. And there were 2 kids who greeted me there on my first day. One was named Eric, and the other was Nikki. Now, they had, I guess, played a lot when they were kids, but when I moved in, I automatically started hanging out and playing with Eric because his interests and my interests were a lot more similar than mine and Nikki's were. I wasn't interested in playing dress-up and playing with dolls, so I didn't do a whole lot with Nikki, but Eric and I became best friends. We played cowboys and Indians. He had an Evel Knievel stunt doll that we played with a lot, and I learned to ride my bike so that I could follow him around. He did all these cool stunts, jumping off the curbs, cool stuff when you're 4 or 5 years old, but it makes me laugh now. But I followed him around everywhere, trying to emulate his every move. About the time we started school, we ended up in different classes. I think we had the same kindergarten class, but by first grade we had moved into different classes, and I was really bummed about that because I didn't know anybody in my class, and I was kind of a loner. The boys didn't know what to think of me, and I didn't want to hang out with the girls. So for the most part, I was my own person. Not that I was picked on or anything. I was always very bright and picked up on things, so I often became the teacher's pet. But I can remember one time in my first grade class, the school had a competition. It was like Wild West days or something along those lines, and we were asked to dress up as if we were living in the Wild West, and I was so excited about this. My mom helped get me decked out as a cowboy. I wanted to be a cowboy, and she got me a shirt and jeans. I seem to remember boots. I don't know if I'm just, adding to my memory with that. But I remember my mom, she went and she found a whole bunch of little rocks, and she got some gold spray paint. She spray painted these rocks so I had gold nuggets, and she made me this pouch. So I had my own stash of gold nuggets. I felt so rich. And Eric came over. We always walked to school together. He came over all dressed up, decked out like a cowboy too. And his mother had drawn a mustache on his face, and I was so jealous. And I just bugged my mom until she finally got out her eyeliner, and she drew me a mustache. And I have pictures. I've got a video that she videotaped the 2 of us, and we're in our cowboy gear, and I've got my mustache on, and I just was so stoked to go to school like this. And they had a contest, the best dressed Western person at school, and I won the best Western dress up for my classroom and went on to the entire school competition. But I remember feeling so proud to be able to stand up there in front of the school with my mustache and my bag of gold and my cowboy shirt, my cowboy hat on, and I thought I was so hot. And I just felt like I had made it. That was my idea of dress up as cowboys. Anyway, so even at that age, I tended to hang out with the guys more than the girls, although if the boys didn't know me very well, they really didn't want anything to do with me. But at that time, you know, when you're that young, it doesn't matter. At least it didn't for me. Nobody was picking on me yet, so I just went with the flow. Anyway, oh, one other memory. In the Mormon church at that time, they would have Wednesday activities at the church, and so my mom clued in that by the time I came home from school and it was time to go to the church activities, she didn't have time to get me all dressed up to go to church. So she thought it would be a good idea to get me dressed and send me off to school in a skirt or a dress so that I would be ready already when I came home from school to go to the Wednesday night youth activities. And that was not cool with me. I did not want to have to be wearing a dress. I hated the dresses because I wasn't allowed to run and play and jump. I had to be modest. I had to be feminine, and I hated that. And so I discovered that on Wednesday mornings, if I got up really early, I could eat and be out of the house before she remembered that it was Wednesday and I should be wearing a dress. So I got into the habit during the first grade of getting up early on Wednesday mornings and getting out the door before she realized I wasn't wearing a dress and I was headed off to school in my jeans. So I was able to get away with that for several weeks before she finally caught on. Yeah, memories. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Talk to you later. Bye.